Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of golf, but not in the way you might expect. We're not talking about swing techniques or the latest clubs. No, today is all about the mind-blowing, the unbelievable, the downright shocking side of this amazing sport. Get ready to have your minds blown because we're about to uncover some surprising golf facts that you probably never knew. From the moon to the history books, we're covering it all. So, grab your clubs, settle in, and let's get started. Right, let's kick things off with a banger. Did you know that golf has actually been played on the moon? You heard me right, the moon! During the Apollo 14 mission back in 1971, astronaut Alan Shepard, a keen golfer himself, smuggled a makeshift club and a golf ball onto the lunar module. Can you imagine that? Sneaking a golf club onto a spaceship? Anyway, Shepard, being the legend he was, couldn't resist taking a swing in the moon's low gravity. He shanked the first shot, as you do on the moon, but the second shot? That sailed for miles and miles, well, at least a couple hundred yards. Now there's some debate about whether it was a proper swing or just a little chip shot. But who cares? The man played golf on the moon. It's one of the only sports ever played outside of Earth's atmosphere. Incredible, isn't it? Next up, let's talk distance. We all want to hit the ball further, right? But even the biggest hitters among us can only dream of hitting it as far as Mike Austin. This bloke, back in 1974, hit a drive that went an absolutely mind-boggling 515 yards. That's longer than some par fives. I mean, can you even imagine seeing a ball fly that far? Now granted, this was before the days of launch monitors and all that fancy tech, so the exact distance is debated. But even if it was a yard less, it's still an absolutely monstrous drive. They say he used a persimmon wood driver and a balata ball, which were the standard back then. Imagine what he could have done with today's technology. Speaking of old school equipment, did you know that golf balls weren't always these high-tech, multi-layered spheres we have today? Nope, back in the day, they were made of wood. Imagine teeing up a lump of oak or beechwood. That's what golfers were doing back in the 14th century. These wooden balls, called featheries later on, were obviously a lot less aerodynamic than modern balls. They didn't fly as far, they weren't as durable, and I can only imagine they made a right racket when you struck them. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? It's amazing to think how far golf ball technology has come. Alright, let's talk about everyone's favorite golfing dream, the hole-in-one. We all dream of that perfect shot, the ace that sends your mates wild. But what about two holes in one in a single round? The chances of achieving this incredible feat are astronomically slim. We're talking 1 in 67 million. That's like winning the lottery and then getting struck by lightning twice. It's so rare that very few golfers have ever managed it. Those who have are practically golfing royalty. To think of the skill, the luck, the sheer improbability of it all, it's mind-blowing. Finally, let's talk about a term we use all the time in golf, birdie. We all know it means one under par, but have you ever wondered where the term comes from? Well, it actually originates from American slang in the late 19th century. Back then, bird was a slang term for anything great or wonderful, so when someone scored a great shot, they'd say they birdied it. Over time, this slang term became associated with a score of 1 under par. And just like that, a golfing term was born. It's funny how these things happen, isn't it? So there you have it, 5 surprising golf facts that you probably didn't know. Who knew this sport had so much history, intrigue, and mind-boggling trivia up its sleeve? Hopefully you learned something new today and maybe even impressed your golfing buddies with your newfound knowledge. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, happy golfing. Thanks for watching.